An MP whose best friend took her own life just weeks after giving birth has made it her mission in Parliament to help improve mental health support for new mums.
Now, the plea from the Labour MP, Laura Kyrke-Smith, comes as research shows that suicide remains the leading cause of death for mothers with babies between 6 weeks and 1 year old. Our correspondent Fiona Landon has more.
The light on her earrings and her bright smile and eyes, she always had very sparkly.
Twinkly, sparkly eyes. Yeah. I've asked myself so many questions. Did I do enough? Could I have done more? The guilt I felt really strongly, and I still do. You carry it with you.
How will you remember Sophie?
Somebody who filled my heart with love. You can't sum her up.
Sophie and Laura were best friends for over 20 years.
I can't really do justice to her when I try and describe her, because she was one of those friends, you know, you have those friends where you're almost a little bit competitive, and she was brilliant, and she would always get that slightly better exam result than me, or that slightly better suntan, or whatever it was. And the same with kids, you know, she would always be thinking of some brilliant new craft activity to do with them.
But aged 37, when her youngest daughter was 10 weeks old, Sophie took her own life. In the days before she died, Sophie and Laura were in regular contact.
A couple of messages really stick with me when she said she sounded quite distressed, and one in particular where she said, "I'm not sure how much longer I can go on with this." The message came through from her husband, and he just said, "I don't know how to say this, and I can't believe I'm writing this, but Sophie died this morning."
I'm particularly proud to be here as Aylesbury's first ever Labour MP and first female MP.
Elected as a new MP in July, Laura has made it her mission in Parliament to fight for better maternal mental health support.
We have to get to a point where the mental health risks of pregnancy and childbirth and that period after birth are as well understood as the physical risks are. Suicide is the leading cause of death for a woman in that period from 6 weeks to a year after birth. I didn't know that. I had no idea. But I want everyone to know that, and I want everyone to check in with someone who's in that phase of their life and to ask if they're okay.
And that's exactly what this charity in Bristol has been doing for the last 40 years.
What normally happens when someone first comes into a group is they burst into tears. I think that's partly due to the relief of being somewhere where actually that mum feels like they can be themselves.
Zoe was struggling after the birth of her 4th child. She went on medication, but says this group helped save her.
And there was these lovely ladies in purple tops, and they just kind of welcomed me in. I was shaking like a leaf. They just scooped me up, and yeah, from that moment onwards, I thought, I found people that were going to help me.
What other services, apart from the helpline and coming to group, what other services did you use?
And today another mother is visiting who knows about the absolute heartache of poor maternal mental health. 10 years ago, her own daughter, Charlotte Bevan, took her and her newborn baby's life after struggling for many years with mental illness.
I always feel that I don't want to focus so much on what happened to us as a family, but to have hope in my heart and hope for the future for young mothers.
What was that like, being in the room then and seeing all those babies and the mums?
It was lovely. It was refreshing, and the room is just full of hope.
Mothers for Mothers say they're helping 800 women each year, more than ever before. But despite that, this group might have to close next month due to a lack of funding.
This hamster is called Rashansky, and he is mine, and he's keen on jumping from tall heights.
I don't expect to get over it, ever. When you have a child and you look after them day in, day out, you take them to school, you know. I'm sorry, I'm not saying positive, happy things, but the loss of that, the sense of wastage, is huge.
What do you think she would make of what you're trying to change?
I do ask myself, am I doing right by her? What would she make of all of this now? You know, me talking about her death, but I want her wonderful life to be remembered, and I want that spirit she had, of that drive she had and desire for change, to be carried through the work that I'm doing now. And I don't want any woman to suffer as she did.
Fiona Lambdin, BBC News.
Well, Department of Health and Social Care spokesperson said the government is training more midwives and maternal mental health workers, investing more than £120 million to support parents.
If you have been affected by any of the issues raised in Fiona's report, you can find help and support on the BBC website. Go to bbc.co.uk/actionline.